Hallo zusammen, I'm your Vlog Dave, and today I'm gonna introduce you to your new favorite German term ever. Pretty much. For real. Definitely. Maybe. Let's talk and learn about fuckelig. So the other day I was talking to a workmate of mine, and at one point in the conversation he said, "Das ist echt ganz schön fuckelig." And he was, well, trying to handle things with his PC, I think he did, at least. And being the linguistically curious and quite aware person that I am, I immediately noticed that term and wrote that down and, well, decided to make this video about it. So what does it mean, where does it originate from, and how do Germans use it? Let's start with the meaning. Fuckelig is a colloquial German adjective. It describes a not so easy to handle task or object. For instance, if you have a PC, a computer cable, and you want to plug that in at the back side of the PC, of the computer, but there is not much free space to do so at the port, well, you might say or think, "Das ist verdammt fuckelig." That's pretty damn hard to plug in or to manage. On a side note, talking about cables and stuff, when Germans are faced with this, they would refer to this as der Kabelsalat, the cable salad. Well, not my favorite type of salad, but you know, sometimes it's just there. You can't do anything about it. In a way, fuckelig is semantically related to the standard German term umständlich, circuitous, intricate or cumbersome. Another grammar-wise related word is die Fuckelei, or das Gefuckel. Both pretty much mean the same, something hard or difficult or cumbersome to handle. And there's also the German verb fuckeln, the act of handling something without much success or in an unwanted, cumbersome way. So even though you might have assumed this already, it's not fuckelig, although that would be kinda, well, interesting sounding as well, but no. In German it's fuckelig. But funny enough, talking about pronunciations, when you actually verbalize, when you pronounce the German term fuckeln, the verb, as an English term, you'd get fackeln. And there is a German term that is fackeln. It's only written, it's spelled with an A instead of a U. It doesn't have anything to do with trying to handle things that are pretty difficult to handle, that are overly complex. In this case, it's actually to light something, fackeln, as a verb. And we also have a plural term, a plural version of a noun that would be fackeln, die Fackeln, the torches. And the singular term would be die Fackel. Just so you know. The etymology, meaning the word's origin. Honestly, it's not really easy to find out how these terms came about or when. Fuckelig and similar words belong to the Sauerland dialects, respectively the dialectal German that's spoken in the Ruhrgebiet, the Ruhr area in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. You might come across these terms in other regions of Germany as well, but they are typical for this one, at least I think so, and that's what my research told me. Either way, typical German expressions include "Das ist ganz schön fuckelig", that's pretty cumbersome, "Was fuckelst du da rum?" What are you handling so painfully or nerve-wracking there? Was für ein ätzendes Gefuckel. What a nerve-wracking thing to do or task. So of course I wonder, have you heard of fuckeln or fuckelig before? I guess not, because as I've said before, it's a rather colloquial term you'd mostly find in, well, Western German dialects, in Ruhrgebietsdeutsch. And well, for instance, in my region, the Sauerland, you might also come across this one, well, every now and then, I'd say. I love this term because, you know, as someone who's aware of, well, the English language and what it actually is like and which words you guys use, I just think there's a funny potential that at least some English speakers could get this wrong when they read this somewhere, or like in a chat, for instance. But I don't know. I hope you know if you enjoyed this video or not. If you did, let me know by leaving a like, by sharing this video with others, by leaving a comment. I certainly enjoyed making this video because this is a pretty good example of how a single term mentioned in a sentence that isn't of like high relevance in a way can, well, make you think, right? And this is what I love about language. And especially German. Thanks for watching anyway, I'm your Vlog Dave. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.